Okay, what is up everybody, and today we are back again with another episode of the beginner series. And we had a slight inconvenience, so as you can see when we go on the map, I had to do a lot of progress off camera and restart the whole beginner series because for some reason I didn't check after my whole files corrupted on my main thing if the beginner series was fine. So I've been spending the last 3-4-ish hours, not quite, a little bit less than that probably, just trying to get back to where we were before and getting us so that we could get somewhere in this episode. But we have some updates. So as you can see, we still have 2 perk points and 2 skill points we can use. We're going to start with the skill points. So I went all the way up to level 3 here now on the spotting knowledge. So we basically now know everything about the animal that we can know in this game when we spot it with a scope. And we are going to need 1 more skill point until we can unlock sight spotting, which we might be able to do in this episode depending on how good it goes. But we're going to use this as our next one because it increases the monetary reward gained from completing a mission by 5%, which means we're getting more cash if we're doing the missions. But most importantly, why I didn't do anything here yet in terms of unlocking, we now have zeroing available, and we are going to buy straight away both of these. And what you can see, there's an activate button. So this is actually a skill set, or a perk skill, I guess we could call it, that you can use. I just want to quickly show you without it. So if we just go on our long gun thing, we don't see any numbers down on the bottom right. But if we go ahead and activate this now, below where, or right next to what we had before, there is now a 150 meter. We can change that to 75 or to 300, which means that we now can more accurately place our shots. On PC, on the standard controls, this can be changed with the F button. On console, I am currently thinking, I think it is the R1 or the L1 button that changes this. I'm not 100% sure, or it's D-pad up. It's one of those threes. I'm not 100% sure anymore. It's been a while since I've played this on console, but you can just, like always, you can just go under settings and then go under gamepad. Actually, we cannot. Okay, never mind. I thought we might be able to see it here. But you just have to go under key bindings over here and you will see it. But yeah, use skill here. Okay, so it is R1 then, or right button for anybody on Xbox. But today's video is probably going to be our last one on Leighton Lakes. We are going to be trying to unlock the 7mm. I have enough rifle score. If we go under Codex here, under Hunter, we have more than enough for the 7mm, but we are just lacking a little bit of cash. And that is going to be the main topic for today. How we can get more cash as a beginner. And we're just going to go through Leighton a little bit more, and we're just going to kind of round the map out and make sure we finish at a place where I feel comfortable that you guys can figure out the rest or know enough to the point where you won't need a guide on this map anymore. But first of all, we're going to talk about the money situation. So in settings, make sure you have Hunt Club Beta logged in and enabled, because otherwise you won't be able to do this. You basically can do daily missions. It's sometimes a little bit glitchy, so you might crash the game. But if you do these missions, you will see you can get money rewards for this. Today, for me, it was harvest red fox, coyotes, jackals, and pass the harvest check, which we did, and currently it's bugged, so you just have to do the first one to get all 3 rewards in the end. But you will basically get cash, and I'm not sure how much we get. We might be able to get the 36,000 straight away, so maybe we can directly unlock the 7mm, but I'm not sure. But let's click claim reward. Then the second one is 1,500. And then the last one is just 1,000 again. So we didn't quite make it. And we currently cannot do this one because we don't have a lever action rifle. There's also a weekly one, but I already did that on my main account, so I cannot actually do that one on here. But otherwise this would be pretty simple. Just basically kill 35 animals and get the harvest check and essentially drop the animals. But that is a good way. Option 2, like I mentioned at the beginning as well, is do the missions, because they will give you quite a good amount of cash. I just don't want to do them again currently because, well, they're not that interesting doing them twice in a row. And I did that on the old beginner series, well, the other one that I had, but we're just gonna start off by getting one of these female blacktail deer if I can actually see them. But we don't have sight spotting unlocked yet, so we are gonna have to spot them first and then get the 243 out and just sort of aim there, and I think that should be a decent hit. But yeah, let me get over there, and then today basically what we're going to be hunting is blacktail deer and roseback elk, but I'm going to be going over all of the zone areas one more time just as a reminder so that you guys are good on this map. We are going to be going on Yukon Valley next, just so that you guys are aware of that. Yukon is going to be our first map, and then after that we're going to be going on Savannah, just because it is probably the best beginner map. The only reason I'm doing Yukon first is because it was requested by somebody in the comments of last video, so that's why we're going there first. But Savannah will be coming next just because of how beginner friendly it is. And we are almost at our blacktail deer, but you can still see our tracking is still not very high level. That is because, like I said at the beginning, I was going to go the right of having sight spotting just because it makes leveling after that a lot easier in my opinion. We got a nice right long hit in her. We are going to get 760 cash for her. Not too much, but we're going to go for some males in a second. So hopefully our cash gain can be a lot higher. But while we are here now, and I'm just going to wait for a couple of more animals to walk in because I just recently set the time. Let's quickly go over just the basics right now of animal zones. So let's just start with rabbits. Rabbits are basically all around this area. My favorite spot for rabbits, this tiny lake over here, just always seems to work on my main account if I'm looking for them. But you will generally find them now everywhere since one of the recent updates. Blacktail deer are usually around this area and tend to stay here, but also come to these two lakes over here. They don't generally go to these main lakes, but you can sometimes find them up here and sometimes along this edge down here, but not too commonly. Moose, once again, they are very common over here, as you saw in episode 2. They also like to roam along this way and pretty much all along this main lake in the middle over here. White-tailed deer do basically the same thing as moose. They are around this lake over here as well, usually all around here, up in this area, and these lakes, this lake over here, this lake up there, this lake over here, Balmont Lake definitely, down in the southern area and the northern area, not too much in the middle here. They will go down here, and I have seen them at the edge over here, so definitely go check that out as well. And they use this lake down there. Roseback elk, generally all along here, all along up there, and these two lakes. This lake up here is a very good hotspot. We're going to check it out in just a second as well. And they will usually also come to these three lakes over here. Any other animals that I'm missing? Coyotes. I have a full-on coyote guide, but generally they're down here in the southern area, along this main river here, up this river here, and then these back areas over here. Black bear tend to be mostly around here and along the main river over here, as well as this lake district over here. I don't think I missed any animals now. If I did, I'm sorry, but I think those were all of the animals. But now that we have that kind of settled, it's just the basic guide. I have quite a few guides or in-detail guides on a few of these animals on my channel already. So if you want a more detailed view, make sure to go check that out, because I cannot do a full-on guide for every animal in a beginner series just because not everybody's going to be interested in the same animals. So yeah, now we're just going to head down to this lake because there's usually a lot of blacktail deer and roseback elk around here, and since we're going for them in today's hunt, since we haven't done that yet, I would think that would be a good idea. And I just noticed I forgot the ducks, but the ducks, since the new update now recently, they are just basically all around on any of the lakes. You won't find them on land, but you will find them on any of the bodies of water. And I'm thinking right now of what we should go for here. I am kind of feeling like we should go for that elk over there, because we have the 270 and we've got one shot left with it. So why don't we use it on that Roosevelt elk over there, and then let's try and use the 243 on one of these blacktail deer, and that should hopefully get that male, and I think it did. So let me collect both of those. I think you kind of saw where I was aiming for them, but generally, once again, my general rule of thumb is aim behind the shoulder blade and slightly below the spinal cord to ensure that you could possibly get yourself a double lung hit, as that is most commonly where the lungs are going to be the thinnest. Okay, well, just because we have the opportunity, there is a female black-tailed doe just right over there, and I don't see any reason why we should not try and take her out. Is there a male as well? Yes, there is. Why don't we try and get a trotting shot on him as well, just so that we potentially can get our cash faster, because currently that's all we need. We don't really need to focus on getting the shots all right, but just trying to get the animals down. And I think I see the black-tailed deer up there. I don't know if that's a rock or the black-tailed deer, but the other species have not died yet, so we might have gotten very bad shots, because we might have over or underestimated the ranges. But let me go find these two that we just shot over here, since we know that one of them died, and see what kind of cash we can get. Okay, here's our female. Didn't manage fire. The hits are right over there. So let's pick her up. We're gonna get almost 900 cash for her, which is good. And now all we have to do is find that other male. We did get a vital hit on him, so he shouldn't be far, but it was the 243, so you never know what you get or how quickly they will go down, because it's not the most powerful gun. And here's that male, so he didn't really run far as well. We got a nice opposite lung hit, pretty decent. I mean, I'll take it. We're gonna get 1,000 cash for that, so we are 1.7k away from being able to get ourselves that 7mm, and hopefully one of these guys over here died, because currently there's still no hunting pressure, so we probably got a bad hit, which probably is what happened, because I didn't really look what distance they were at, and we probably got something. Yeah, we got a flesh hit on the elk, so it's not going to go down. The 270 is not strong enough for that. And the black-tailed deer, I would imagine we did the same thing. So let's go to another lake. We are going to have to go somewhere where there's black-tailed deer, so we might try this lake up here, because I know that they're around here, and we can use the 243, which we have ammo for, and then just wait until we have enough cash for the 7mm, so that we don't have to buy 10 bullets for like $600 or something, where we only need maybe 1 or 2 shots. And we just spooked a moose. That would have maybe been a good way of getting cash, but doesn't matter. We'll just use those 2 does maybe there in the back, and if we mess up any of these shots, we still have some backup ones back there. But let's go for this. I don't see why we should not try that. And then let's just try getting that one back there. Drop shot that one, so that was probably a very good hit. And let's look. Okay, we're gonna just collect the other ones first before we shoot at those, because this might already be enough cash to get ourselves the 7mm, but we still also need to get ammunition, so we're gonna need a third animal down. Jeez, I cannot speak today, but yeah, we have a coyote back there. We don't really need the missions anymore, so we're not gonna bother with that. But if he's gonna stand somewhere broadside and open, I will take it, because those guys do give a lot of cash, just like most predators. So here's our first doe, and we know the other one dropped back there, so Should be fine on that, but that's another 900 cash over there, so we should be able to get the 7mm now with this one. But as I said at the beginning of the video, today's topic is getting cash as a beginner, and I have a few methods that I want to recommend here in just a second. One of them is the one that I'm currently doing, which is basically shoot whatever you can see, and we just got enough cash. So we should go for that coyote over there, just because the second way of getting a lot of cash is going for predators, but not messing up shots like I am right now, because I was out of breath. Big oof on my side there, but yeah. How can we get 300 cash or 500 cash real quick? Like I was saying, predators do give you a lot of cash. Usually they will get you anywhere between 1,200 to 1,600, and look at that, standing broadside. Love to see it. We'll definitely take that. So that is going to include anything like pumas. I'm going to call bears a predator as well, even though they're not technically one, but bears are another great way of getting cash. Coyotes, pumas, mountain lions, lions especially. Lions give a ton of cash. Then side strip jackal, I'm thinking, is there anything else in the predator region? I don't think there's any other predators, but if that is not enough for you, red deer is another one. Red deer are really common to give a lot of cash, and I mean a lot of cash. Even for the females, I think you get like 1,000 plus for each one, which is really good money for that, like for a female only. But in the Vrahunga episode, I'm gonna give you guys another tip, because there are some good things about Vrahunga in terms of cash, because it has open areas, and some animals are very common to spot in those said areas. But let's look. Did we get a good hit on this female? Apparently we did not, if I can see this right. I mean, there's no hunting pressure appearing, and I don't see her tracks anywhere. We are also going to be going to hunt into the night today, so we are going to be not focusing, but talking a little bit about night hunting as well today. But it's more of a side thing, because I don't think a lot of you guys will actually be doing it, so I don't want to do a full episode on it, but I will briefly talk about it today and give you guys all the essential information that you will need to know. Okay, so I just came back to this lake just so we could quickly get another doe or something like that out of the way, because I really did not want to go full on out of hunting, going far to a lake just so that we could fast travel back and get the 7mm. But while we walk over there, let me quickly show you guys what happens at night. So you can see that there are tracks over here, but you cannot actually physically see them. This is not because I don't have tracks turned on. It's just that at nighttime you have to press the L key, or I think it's the right thumbstick press down button to activate your lights, and this is how you can see tracks in the dark. They did change a couple of things in the last couple updates, so now that if you look through your scope, or not your scope, through your binoculars, your lights will turn off. However, if you look through your scope in your gun, the light will stay on, which I would recommend if you have it on and you want to shoot at longer distances. You can see that if I have the light turned on versus turned off, it's a lot more clear and have a lot more detail, whereas if you have the light on, it kind of looks like you're shooting in a foggy area. So for binoculars, for just spotting things, it doesn't matter because they automatically go off. But if you're shooting with your rifle scope, I would recommend turning your lights off for that very quickly. Another thing, this won't spook away animals, so if you run around with the lights on accidentally at night, you won't actually spook any animals by doing so. And we finally have enough cash, so don't worry about that. You can always run around with it. It will not spook any animals, even if you have it on during the day by accident. It doesn't matter. Time has come. $3,600 down the drain right there, and we also need some ammunition for it. So we're gonna go straight away for the 7mm polymer tip bullets, just because it has 40 penetration and is just a lot better than the 20 that you get with the soft point bullets. And I always prefer penetration over expansion, just because it makes a bigger difference for me. It is recommended for classes 4 to 9, so this is an amazing gun for beginners because you can essentially shoot basically everything with these two guns. The only thing that you will not be able to shoot is ducks, turkeys, and rabbits. But let's equip the 7mm. Let's get the right ammo out. We are going to buy some more later on, but for now, let's have a look at this thing. Let me turn the lights off and then let's look at it in the lights here. But I think personally it's a very nice design. I wish we could look at it a little bit better, but we finally have it. And let's go up here now to this lake that I mentioned before. It is usually always a very, very good spot for Roosevelt elk, but I don't know how good it is going to be on my map. We are probably only going to be shooting 1 or 2 because this is already quite a long episode, as I can see by my recording. But I think we did still cover enough today, and I didn't just randomly talk for 20 minutes. But as you can see, there are just a ton, and I do mean a ton, of Roosevelt elk around here. Plus there's even more back there. Usually that doesn't happen. Usually you only have one of these 2 spots filled, but we are apparently lucky. Something you should know though about these Roosevelt elk is that the males will usually try and stand a little bit further away from the females. So if you just see females, just walk a little bit further and look further up in the brush, as the males do sometimes like to hide up in there. But seemingly there are no males here, as I'm just saying that, but there are somewhere around there. And if you have the collar, I would usually just tell you to use the collar now and try and call them out of their hiding spot. But yeah, they are seemingly up there somewhere, and something is fleeing, but I don't think it's a Roosevelt elk. I think those were white-tailed deer that will drink up here, because they did look smaller. But yeah, I cannot see a male here anywhere. They must be hidden up there with that other one, because all I'm seeing is females. But since we haven't taken one down, why don't we look if there's anything that looks like a different fur variation. But doesn't seem like it. So yeah, let's just go for that one over there, I guess. Let's test out the 7mm and let's hear how that thing sounds. One thing that is a little bit annoying though is that bright light of the highlighting. When you highlight animals in the dark, it can sometimes sort of blind you and just distract you from where you're actually shooting, but just wait for that to subside, because you will usually see where you're aiming. And that should have been a very nice double lung hit. I guess we'll see in just a second. And yeah, that thing went down super quick, so that is good. But love the way this gun sounds. It is sadly just a single shot gun, so you won't be able to get many follow-up shots, but you're not going to be too concerned with that as a beginner anyway, because you won't probably be doing a lot of grinding. You will more be trying to just get cash, get XP, and just shoot whatever you see rather than going for one specific species. But what we can see here now is once again the thing I talked about, night hunting. You don't see any tracks, but as soon as I turn the lights on, we can just see a ton, and I mean a ton of tracks around here. So it definitely is useful running around the map sometimes if you're not finding anything with just the light on, just to see if you can maybe spot some new animal tracks. But for next episode, like I said, we're going to be going on Yukon. We are going to be talking a little bit about DLCs, and we are also going to be starting to work on our tracking knowledge. But you can just see the penetration on this is a lot better than on the 270 or the 243. Like, it is a lot better. We almost got double lung, liver, and stomach, but just shot a little bit too much diagonal rather than straight through it. And we are at the thick part of the lung, so the penetration is really good, and it is really worth getting this gun. Even though it might seem like a lot of cash as a beginner, it is really going to be worth it in the end. I also hope you understood that you have to activate your perk over here. You can always just activate one at a time, so if we do have windage here, we always would have to choose between one or the other. We cannot have both active. But with that being said, I think that's going to be doing it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please do make sure to hit that like button, as it does help out the channel and this video out a lot. Secondly, make sure to join my Discord server down below, because if you have any questions, recommendations, or any cool animals you shot recently, I would love to see them there, and I'd love to see you in my new Discord server. So definitely go check that out in the description. Also, if you're new around here or you just have not subscribed yet, definitely go ahead and do that and hit the bell icon so you're always notified when I live stream or upload new content just like this. And lastly, and most importantly, have a good day. Bye bye and peace.